Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrocht and Tommy Kester.
All right, welcome in, everybody. It is Sports Daily, and we are glad to be with you on a Friday. TGIF. Jacob Albrocht, Tommy Castor here. Jad Chambers driving this thing. Man in that IHOP hotline, which is brought to you by IHOP, who has its all-you-can-eat pancakes deal now through September 15th. You can also get in touch with the program on our video streams, which are available to you, of course, on 12 News Connected and on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Glad to be here with you. We'll touch on a lot of things today. We'll get you ready for a Royals weekend, another win for Kansas City last night. Things looking good in the standings. We will touch on Simone Biles and her gold medal, the redemption, other Olympic stories. You've got Chase Budinger out there in the beach of, well, the Eiffel Tower playing sand volleyball right now. The Olympics keep delivering for me. I love it. I've had a lot of fun with the Olympics this year. So we'll keep on that train a little bit. Justin Herbert is out for a little while. We'll get into that. I think Justin Herbert and Aaron Rodgers both deserve a little discussion from us. We haven't spent a ton of time since training camp again on either of those two guys yet so far. So we'll do that. We'll check in on the Chiefs. May have some Mitch Holthus audio for you. We'll have a couple of giveaways. We will give away some HTO, as we always do, some iced tea and some coffee from HTO. And then we'll have a conversation about the Heritage Classic Golf Tournament out at Rolling Hills and give you a chance to head out there this weekend. That's all coming for you today on the program. Tommy, how are you this morning?
I'm good. Happy Friday. Good to see you. Looking forward to getting into it today. A lot to talk about as we get into the weekend.
So the Royals is where we'll start, as we typically do, and it's a 7-1 win over Detroit, a game that they had in control. Excuse me, right out of the gates. Vinny Pasquantino, a couple of home runs. He has really heated up. He's become a major producer in the middle of that lineup, which you love seeing. He's got his average all the way back up to 260, 262 to be precise. Love seeing that because that's honestly as big as anything for this team. So he's hot, not as hot as Bobby Witt Jr., who continues his tear. That Bobby Witt Jr. bases bet just continues to deliver. If you're a bettor, you just ride the streak with him right now, pretty much. But that's happening. You got a Seth Lugo performance. I think Seth Lugo now, at least when he plays within the division, you can just pretty much lock it in. 8 innings. He only had 3 strikeouts, but who cares? 8 innings, 103 pitches. He surpasses his innings total of his career, so he's in uncharted territory now. But, I mean, that's as good as you can get for the Royals in a game.
Well, I think the best thing about Seth Lugo, I mean, not only did he, kind of bounce back and really have a great performance last night from him, and this has happened before during the course of the season for Lugo, but I really noticed it last night. He's giving that bullpen a little bit of a breather and going into a 4-game set on the road and coming off of a 3-game set on the road. That's really important. And there's been obviously a lot of discussion about that Royals bullpen and, will they be able to be improved with Ursig now in the bullpen and Hunter Harvey and all the different pieces that they added. Well, when Seth Lugo pitches 8 innings and the Royals have a fairly comfortable victory, you don't really have to rely on that. And so I think that's really important going into this weekend. Lugo set the tone, gave the bullpen an opportunity to rest a little bit last night and get them ready for this weekend. To me, that was kind of I think the most important takeaway that I had from last night's game.
It's a good point because I don't think they have a day off till the 11th. And so, when that happens too, those bullpen days are good. I'm curious to see how the bullpen shakes out. Like I'd love for the Royals to win all their games by 6 runs. I am very curious though at how they will line this up now. And after what we saw from Ursig, do you just give him the 9th inning? Tommy, I think I would. I think I'd be okay with it. It's a little different. He's a veteran. He's been around for a long time. It's not like I don't think he's done that before, at least not that I've seen or heard. But I don't think you're going to hurt anything by throwing him out there. And I don't think they will. I don't think they're all of a sudden just going to name him their closer or anything like that. But I would like to see how they progress through a 7th, 8th, and 9th inning in a game where they might need it, right? Let's say they got a 2-run, 3-run lead. It's the 7th inning. You hand it over. I'd like to see the way Cotrero is thinking about that right now. Is it a committee approach? He doesn't incline me as somebody, and what we've seen from him in his time as the Royals manager, as somebody who wants to do that. So how does he see this lining up? It's clearly shouldn't be MacArthur right now. Even in that last clean start that he had, it took 2 brilliant defensive plays by Bobby Witt Jr. to get there. So yeah, it's important, but rest is also important. I'm with you. And if you can just beat up on Detroit in this series, that would be great. So the win moves Kansas City ahead of Minnesota. Not a lot of games yesterday. The Royals just happened to be one of them. But it gives them just a little bit of ground on Minnesota. And then it helps them, against Seattle, for instance. I mean, what's interesting about this playoff chase, Tommy, that we thought could get really crowded, it really is down now to basically 6 teams for 3 spots and probably it's 5 teams. I mean, if Tampa, we assume when they traded away all their players, they'll begin to slip. Texas just can't get it together. So if that's the case, 5 teams for 3 spots, chances are going up. You know what I mean? Like this is looking pretty good for the Royals here. There was a time not that long ago, and listen to this, and this is crazy to me. If I go to right now to CBS Sports, which it usually look like, and they have their little analytics thing, their analytics thing still puts the Royals' chances at the postseason only at 28%. That's it. They still have Boston higher, they have Seattle higher, Minnesota way higher. And man, I don't buy it. They have them on pace for they project them to 82.5 wins. 82.5 wins. They're already at 61. So
yeah, I mean, you're talking about, a losing record the rest of the way, an under 500 record the rest of the way.
I don't understand that. Why those metrics don't like them. And if you went to, it's not just that. If you go to the sites right now and look at them as, their betting odds and stuff, people are still like computers or whatever it is, whoever it is that does that stuff, are still sort of counting them out. And I just don't get it. I don't understand. And it surprises me when you think about the starting rotation and Bobby Witt Jr. And now if you're telling me Vinny Pasquantino is all the way back, it's a pretty good for the Royals. I mean, use it, wear it, own it. Not that they look at that kind of stuff, but people still are underselling them a little bit.
Well, yeah, I think that they are. And I think that they've looked at, the flaws that this team clearly has. And we know that they have deficiencies. That's not anything surprising, but really what comes down to it is, do we think that they can work around that? Can they manage around it? Can they take advantage of what they do best, what they do well? That's great starting pitching. Most of the time, at least through the rotation, it's being able to get production from the bats that you expect to produce for you night in and night out. That's Bobby Witt Jr., that's Salvador Perez. And if you, like you mentioned, if you can add Vinny Pasquantino in there, I think people are sleeping on Hunter Renfroe at this point in the season because he started so poorly and he quietly has turned his season around, gotten that average up, gotten the strikeout rate down. He's been able to get on base at a higher clip. And so you've got that pop in the middle of the lineup. Then from there, I know, again, like the deficiencies are clear and obvious for this team. Leadoff spot, bullpen to an extent, although we'll see if Ursig and Harvey can turn things around. That 5th spot in the rotation, can Lorenzen fill that gap for a while for them? If they can manage around those deficiencies and lean on what they do well, then I think the analytics are absolutely underselling what Kansas City can do between now and the end of the season.
I'm looking at Hunter Renfroe. In the month of June, Tommy, this year, he's a .333 hitter. In the month of July, he was he's a 297 hitter.
Yep.
And he is really, and we've talked about it a little bit. And his, his on base percentage is even higher. Now he has pop, but what about trying to throw him at the top of the lineup? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Like, can Hunter Renfroe lead off? And Michael Garcia's had a couple of hits in that spot the last couple of nights. And if he's hot, you can sort of leave him there. But I think we understand that's not going to last forever. Hunter Renfroe is a really impactful bat in the middle of the lineup for them right now. I get it. It was such a bad start that the averages are not playing. But yeah, he has been white hot. Could he slide up?
I also wonder.
Why not?
I also wonder. Are we overestimating the importance of that position? I've thought about that from time to time as this whole debate has raged on, because I mean, you can go back a month and a half, maybe even 2 months, when this sort of started to rear its ugly head, that they're not getting production out of Michael Garcia. They're not getting production out of the leadoff spot. What can they do? Why won't they move Bobby Witt Jr. to leadoff? Is there somebody else that can do it? And back and forth and back and forth. The Royals are 12 games over 500.
I know. And they're
with the
one of the
leadoff
top
spot.
offenses in baseball.
Exactly. With the leadoff spot, that is maybe the least productive leadoff spot in Major League Baseball. I don't know. I don't know if you can rank that or not. I have no idea. I mean, my perception would be that it's one of the worst, if not the worst, leadoff spots in Major League Baseball. Right. Sure. So, I wonder if there's a part of it where, Matt Quatraro is just like, look, we didn't go out and get, a permanent leadoff hitter at the trade deadline. So we're just going to continue to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to, again, lean on and double down on what we do best and believe that that's going to be enough to get us to where we want to be. And ultimately, that's the playoffs. And so far, it's worked. I wonder if the analytics, as we're talking about how the Royals are pacing and the odds of making the playoffs and that sort of thing, if the analytics are thinking different things like, okay, well, leadoff spot is bad. Outside of a couple of guys that consistently can be productive offensively, there's just not consistency there. I wonder if all of that is baked into that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've been down on them all year. I think it's probably just not looking at how do you analyze streakiness, I guess, and it looks at Hunter Renfroe as a 236 hitter right now, which is what he is for the season, right? We know he's much better than that lately and is a totally different player. Vinny Pasquantino, it's taken some time. I think that kind of stuff. And look, who cares, right? Like, who cares that the analytics are doing that? It's just interesting in a playoff race that is seemingly shrinking down now, that the Royals continue to not get that sort of love, right? And I'll bet if we went around and polled casual baseball fans, of those 6 teams competing for a playoff spot, for a wild card spot, the Royals most people would probably put the Royals 6 out of 6, just because they lost 100 games last year, 110 games last year, basically. And so I get it, but it is interesting to me, because as we watch that team every day, if the flaw that we're finding is that they have an unproductive leadoff spot, of all the flaws you can have, that's not that big of one. The much larger concern is the bullpen. And that's, we'll see that play out over time. The thing that glares at you on the leadoff spot is how hot Bobby Witt Jr. is. And you're like, man, it'd be nice if they get somebody on base ahead of him. And that happens, right? First time through the batting order is the time that it shows itself, and then otherwise it kind of goes out the window anyway. So we've had a lot of discussion about that spot, and the fact that we have is probably a good sign for the Royals. Whole lot better than discussing a shaky starting rotation or a bullpen that can't hold a lead or anything like that. So the Royals are fine. They'll get Detroit. They'll be the favorite in all these games pretty heavily. Most likely, Detroit does not have much pitch. Their young, talented starting rotation is just absolutely decimated. And I believe that they miss Skubal here. Let me just double check that. I believe that they miss Skubal. Give me just a second here. They get Skubal tonight. They get him tonight. Yeah,
I thought I had read that.
Skubal tonight. Yeah. I thought when I looked at this series,
it's going to be Skubal and Ragans.
Yeah. And then you get
Ragans,
two dudes, and then you get 2 more guys from Detroit who have 6+ ERAs, which is what you had last night too. So yeah, tonight's the big one. Skubal, I apologize for that. It's one of those Apple TV games too, which is a real bummer. So listen to it with us on KFH.
You don't have Apple TV?
No, I don't have Apple TV. I don't need 84 subscriptions, right? It's like, it's so funny to me now.
You want to borrow my password? I'll keep it.
I'm gonna be on the road. I'm gonna be on the road at a concert tonight. So I will. It'll be fine. It bugs me though. Like, it's fine. I don't mind Major League Baseball doing it when you have 162 times 32 games or times 15 games or whatever. it's okay to put some on Apple TV Plus. It is annoying though, as we're getting into this streaming war where everybody needs content. The most valuable content is live sports. I mean, we got games on 34 different, and not just like bundled into a cable package. Like you got to pay for all these things. You got to pay for Prime. You got to pay for Apple TV. You got to pay for Netflix now. If you want to watch games, you better believe there's going to be games on Disney Plus. It's not good enough to just have them on ESPN. Like it's all coming. And I'm like, okay, like I can't. Peacock has one now. Like it's just, I'm going to just start missing games because I'm not having 84 TV. I don't ever watch TV. Like I watch sports and that's about it. That's
why
it.
Why do you think they're doing that? I mean, they know that there are a lot of people like you that you're not sitting down and watching TV.
Absolutely
That's
know why they're
that's
doing
the way
it,
that you can consume those games.
But I'm not I'm not going to subscribe to Apple TV to catch a weekly Major League Baseball game. You know, like a once a week, one game a week. Isn't that what they have? Like one game
Friday
a week,
night.
I think. Yeah.
Friday night.
So no, I'm not going to subscribe to. How much does Apple TV cost? I don't even know. Like $6
I think
a month.
it's under 10 a month.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
There's some good shows on Apple TV Plus though.
Yeah, but I don't watch. That's the problem right now is we don't have time to watch shows, and I love shows. But you know, whatever. We're all old.
Can I tell you about before we go to break? Can I tell you about the show that I'm currently binging, watching?
Yeah.
I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but I'll admit it publicly. I never watched Breaking Bad, and I'm now watching.
Oh yeah,
Breaking
I haven't
Bad.
either.
You haven't watched Breaking Bad?
Okay.
TV? No. You can watch it on Netflix. I'm like,
I don't have that either anymore.
I'm like in season 4 right now. It's getting really good. So I've
been
binging that.
I missed it too. I also don't have Netflix right now. But I need to at some point in my life catch. I'll tell you what I've watched the last couple of nights, and I got to break them up in chunks. After watching that new Deadpool Wolverine movie, like, you know what? I'm going to go back and watch all the old X-Men movies. Like that. Those are mine. That was my favorite show and all that stuff. And so I'm going back. It's amazing what, special effects have done in the last 20, 25 years. As you're watching those, you kind of laugh at some of it, but that's what I'm doing. Most of the time, though, it's just sports, especially with the Olympics right now. We can touch on Simone Biles when we come back. Also got to get into Justin Herbert's story. Oh boy, that's an interesting one. And the Aaron Rodgers stuff. I think we're there. We're officially there where like I am all in now on football. We get, the K-State stuff yesterday with them starting practice. Like it's football season. This is going to be the longest month ever. We'll be right here with you for it though. We want to say thank you to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up here at KFH and all of our Odyssey stations. They have a big old coffee in there that everybody enjoys around the building. We appreciate it. We're going to come back. Simone Biles. It's too easy to say she's the greatest ever. I try to compare it to other things in sports, and I can't ever find one. We'll touch on that when we return. Sports Daily, Albrocht and Caster, don't go away.
Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news. Critically hurt after an apartment. Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active.
Just search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction. That's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first.
When you need it.
Wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.
The Catchies are back. No matter the sport, no matter the school. Highlighting the best overall high school boys and girls athletes in the state. Now's the time to vote for who takes home a Catchie. Help us recognize the top high school athletes in Kansas by scanning the code on your screen to vote, or go to catchitkansas.com and vote there for the Catchie Awards.
The Catchies, brought to you by Hutchinson Community College and Prairie Land Partners.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Sports Daily on KFH. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Castor alongside you here. Glad to be with you on this Friday. Hope everybody's having a good Friday, getting the week to a close, weekend to a start, a good start, and it'll be a good day for everybody. Tommy, Simone Biles does what we thought she'd do. What was it, 3 years ago? The story, the redemption story, all of it's so good. I can't believe how much better she is than her peers. How physically gifted. I don't know. I keep trying to compare it to something, and I don't know what to compare it to. I can't remember where somebody is just so clearly more gifted than everyone around her, and to be able to execute and everything. But when you watch it and just how high she jumps, and like it's wild, it's crazy, and I can't compare it to anything. And I'm glad that she's back and was able to do everything that she did. And what a great story! What a great American Olympian, and I'm so happy about it.
I think one of the things that makes her stand out is that the sport in which she competes is not a sport that the regular person can do. You know, it's not something
Right.
that you and I could go out
Yeah, we
there
can't
and
go play
even,
golf, right? Yeah.
you know, we can play. We're not going to play
No,
golf as well
I
as
know what
Tiger
I'm saying.
Woods.
I get what you're saying. Like, yeah,
We
we're
can
not.
go
We
and
can.
play golf,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Right.
Like
Yeah, I
that.
can
Like
barely do a
we
somersault.
can't. Yeah, we can't play tennis like Serena Williams, but you and I can go play tennis. So, like, you know, Michael Phelps had obviously a ton of gold medals in the Olympics and did, you know, great things when he was in there. We can't swim as good as Michael Phelps, but we can go swim a lap. That's what makes, I think, it different with Simone Biles, is just the way in which, you know, the sport that she competes in. That's not anything that the regular person can even like remotely sniff to go and do.
And not just that, and then take that, extrapolate it, because it's not something her peers can do either. Like, she's doing tricks they wouldn't be able to do because they can't jump as high as she can. It's wild. And it just, I can't, it's very hard to compare it. It's easy to grasp that Michael Phelps was faster than everybody else, but he wasn't, you know, doing things nobody else was capable of doing. And I'm sure somebody will come along that challenges this by Biles, but it's just wild to see. And it was fun. And that was look, I think most of us who love the Olympics love gymnastics as much as we love anything. It's like figure skating when you're watching the Winter Olympics. Like, this thing that you never consume in any way, for most of us, you become obsessed with for a week, right? And as a kid, you're trying to do these tricks in your living room and all of these things. That was a fun team, that women's team, and the men's team too. So tip of the cap to all the USA gymnasts. I thought they wore it well in one of the more highly, watched and high profile parts of the Olympics. They were two really fun teams, and it was cool. And Simone Biles kept it, and they still do individuals, right? Like, she did the all around, but now they do event by event the rest of it. So she'll have, you know, probably a floor routine and a vault that she'll win. And then the other ones, she kind of comes down to earth a little bit with everybody else. But those two, she's going to win those, I assume.
Yeah, I remember when you and I would have been kids, and it would have been the '96 Olympics in Atlanta, and how big of a deal the Carrie Strug performance was. Remember that? And, you know, she was carried off, you know, by her coach, and she had hurt her ankle, and just the grit and determination. You know, it's not like there's obviously been fantastic gymnasts since 1996 and fantastic moments for the U.S. gymnastics team in the Olympics since '96. So I don't want to discount, you know, what anybody else has done, you know, between '96 and today. But, you know, after seeing everything that Simone Biles has done, and the redemption story after what happened in 2020 in Tokyo and all of that, I'm not sure that there's a bigger moment for USA gymnastics in the Olympics since 1996. And that moment that captivated not only the country, but the world with what Carrie Strug was able to do for the US team. Simone Biles, I mean, is probably the best to ever do it. But just an overall moments and overall importance, you know, for that team, for the Olympians, for the US in the Olympics. You know, that moment, you know, stands out to me. Probably is the last time that really, you know, captivated the nation like that.
It is. Well, we have our moments. I mean, it's good to see the men back. I just have had a lot of fun with the Olympics, and we haven't even gotten to track and field yet. I mean, it's been an awesome Olympics, and and there's been a time change, and we haven't even gotten to track and field yet. So go USA. I love, you know, when we get to put the flag on the sleeve and really boast it out there and have some fun with it. But it'll continue. Like, again, we haven't even gotten to track and field. Track and field's the best. We haven't even gotten to the gold potential. Anything happening with golf? I haven't watched any of the golf. Anything happening with the golf we need to be watching?
Well, I know that they started golf, I think yesterday or maybe the day before. I honestly have not followed it. I don't know where things stand. I know they're in the middle of it right now, but I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I know it's happening. Yeah, it's literally happening now, but maybe we'll take a peek at that. We'll have some other golf talk coming up in just a little bit.
Looks like
well.
Hideki Matsuyama is currently in the lead. Tommy Fleetwood right behind him. Xander Schauffele is 2 back in third.
Okay.
He won the gold medal in 2020. And so, he's trying to repeat for that, but he's in position right now. Looks like he's through his second round. Matsuyama and Fleetwood are about to finish their second round as well. So yeah, that will run through Sunday, I would imagine. Schauffele trying to repeat as the gold medalist.
Go USA. All right, let's set up one of our giveaways. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Let's talk some football. You can win some HTO iced tea. More than 20 flavors will get you a free iced tea at either of the Wichita locations, East or West Wichita, or in Derby. We'll also get you a free Rain coffee. So you get 2 prizes in one giveaway. All you got to do to enter is text the keyword T, T-E-A, to the short code 20357. That's T to 20357. Good luck, everybody. Message and data rates apply. We're going to come back. We've got Justin Herbert news that could change the landscape of things, certainly in the AFC West. I'm curious for Tommy's take on this Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, just basically how are things going right now in Jets camp for Rodgers. We'll get all of this in as we make our way through this Friday edition of Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news.
Critically hurt after an apartment.
Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active
Just
right
search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction. That's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first,
When you need it.
wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.
The Catchies are back. No matter the sport, no matter the school. Highlighting the best overall high school boys and girls athletes in the state. Now's the time to vote for who takes home a Catchie. Help us recognize the top high school athletes in Kansas by scanning the code on your screen to vote, or go to catchitkansas.com and vote there for the Catchie Awards.
The Catchies, brought to you by Hutchinson Community College and Prairie Land Partners.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Sports Daily. It is KFH. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Castor here with you. Training camp coverage is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile, and you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at at T-Mobile.com/switch. All right, let's go training camp touring outside of the Chiefs, which we have talked a lot about. Big news across the league yesterday. Justin Herbert, plantar fasciitis. Now, this is troubling, not only because he'll miss time in training camp with the new head coach. That's, certainly impactful, but it's an injury that you got to be really, really, really careful with. It's an injury that can affect the Achilles later on if you're not fully healed. Historically, it's one that you just have to wait it out. I think I had this, Tommy, when I was in middle school. I remember a time where I could not walk after basketball practice because my heel hurt so bad. And I'm pretty sure this is what it sounds like I might have had. But if that's the case, it was excruciating as a kid. You couldn't just play through it. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. So he'll have to kind of shut it down a little bit. And Herbert's in an interesting place in his career. I still believe in the Herbert upside. I think sometimes we underappreciate how much impact the coach and play caller can have on a talented young quarterback, and how much they can also screw it up. And I think he's been in a screwed up position for a long time, and he finally has Jim Harbaugh there, and it's okay, this will work. And now he has this injury, and that's that for a franchise that just gets gut punch after gut punch after gut punch with injuries every year for the last 15 years, it seems like. Are we already at a here we go again situation? That sucks.
Yeah, I think that you're getting close to that. And I know that he's going to spend a couple of weeks in a boot. But the expectation, I guess, by multiple sources is that he'll be ready to play by week 1.
Yeah,
okay, so what else are you going to say? Are you going to say no, it's a nagging injury and we don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1? No, at this point, the Chargers and everybody around the organization, they're going to say he'll be ready to play on week 1. I think back to, remember last season, Joe Burrow coming back from his injury, and he was quote unquote ready to play for week number 1. We watched him the first couple of weeks of the season. He had a hard time moving around, and the Bengals, they didn't win. I mean, I think they started the season, 1-3 with Joe Burrow back, 1-2, something like that. And Burrow clearly, while he was able to play, he was not playing at 100%. So I do think that that's the major concern with Justin Herbert, is that whether or not he's on the field in week 1. I don't necessarily think that that's really the concern. I think it's how effective can he be if he is on the field? Will he be able to move around? Will he be able to be mobile? Or will he have to kind of be a little bit of a stick in the mud in the pocket because this is, nagging at him and he's not going to be able to be, as effective as he'd like to be?
It's, I don't know what you do because there's going to be urgency to get him out there with Harbaugh. I do think there is a chance they're significantly better than we expect. And I haven't looked at their win total or anything, but I think Harbaugh is that kind of coach, especially when you give him that kind of quarterback. He took a major step back last year and people want to throw away his career, but guys, he took statistically the same sort of step back last year that Patrick Mahomes took. So there's more to it than just looking at a stat sheet. And he did look at times like a different player than he did through the first 2 years of his career. There's no question about that.
Statistically, maybe so, but I mean, the difference was Mahomes was still leading the team to wins. They were still winning games at a higher clip than the Chargers were. Let's be honest.
Of course they were, but Justin Herbert does not play defense, and we can't overstate like a lot of these things. And I forget, we could pull it up again, and we've done this before. Like through this portion of his career, he's got more comeback wins than any other quarterback. All these things, like at some point, a quarterback can only control so much. The defense bailed out the Chiefs' offense last year. They had one of the best defenses in the league. I'm not saying one way or the other on Herbert's long-term prospects as a quarterback. Just saying it's hard for me to take that versus everything else we've seen in his career and be like, yeah, he's washed or he's not going to be good. I still think he's going to be good. I want to see it with Harbaugh. I think Herbert is an interesting character. I like Herbert. I love his game when he's on. When he's on, he's as fun to watch at the position as there is. My wife is a Chargers fan, so I probably have more of an affinity for that than most people around here that would love to see them crash and burn at every opportunity because they play in the AFC West. And I get that. I understand that. I'm somebody who wants all the best quarterback play in this league that I can get. I don't want to watch, no offense, Jake Browning. I want to watch Joe Burrow. I don't want to watch, I want the stars at that position to shine brightly because it makes the game that much better. And I hope he ends up being one. I am concerned about this injury. And if I'm the Chargers, like it's an on ice situation until you're 100% cleared because the trying to make up for the plantar fascia is the Achilles injury, right? That's what it is. So you cannot mess with it. It has got to be on ice until 100% cleared and ready to go. And
I'm not sure that's the direction that they're going to have the luxury to take. I mean, their backup is Easton Stick.
Then they're going to play Easton Stick for 2 or 3
weeks.
But
will they though?
Yeah, they better.
Well, if he's not ready to go, like if he's not 100% in week 1, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that they go with Easton Stick. I think if Herbert on one leg or at 80%, they feel like he can play at 80% or whatever that percentage is, that's still in their mind, probably an upgrade from Easton Stick. And yeah, there's that risk of future injury and season ending injury for sure. I'm just not so sure. The right thing to do, I'm not disagreeing with you, would be to put him on the shelf until he is ready to go. I don't know if the Chargers have that luxury. You're starting off the Jim Harbaugh era. You've got to get off to a good start in that division, especially with the defending 2-time champions in your division. I'm not sure they have that luxury to be able to do that. I would imagine that even at a diminished percentage, they may want to try to see if Justin Herbert can go.
Their win total this year is 8.5 games. I probably would have really liked that before this. And I don't touch any of these because I'm not patient enough for that. Man, I just, if you're looking at the AFC West and you said what team would be the team behind the Chiefs, I still think it's the Chargers. I certainly think it's the Chargers with Harbaugh. I'm not in on the Broncos. I'm definitely not in on the Raiders. So that's kind of the team there. And I don't know. I just want him to get back healthy. This sucks. Are you with me on that? Like I cringe every time I see anything to do with quarterback injuries. Like I hate it so much because I love the NFL so much. And it's just such a different product when you have good quarterbacks and not good quarterbacks. Let Aaron Rodgers be the perfect example of that. I mean, the Jets were, if we didn't have Breece Hall to pay attention to, I'm not sure I could have watched the Jets game last year. It was so bad. And the difference between what that is, and even if Aaron Rodgers isn't close to what he was before, it's going to be way better. It's just wild what the difference is with guys that can play at this level and not.
Yeah, you never want to obviously see a superstar go down. But at the same time, there have been plenty of examples over the years of quarterback injuries leading to other quarterbacks stepping in and, and shining bright. And then you've got a little bit of quarterback drama and controversy. And then you've got, all of a sudden new stars are developed from that. I mean, you mentioned Dak Prescott. The first one that comes to mind for me is Joe Montana and Steve Young. And, Joe Montana goes down with injuries and Steve Young comes in and basically is able to be, and he had experience in the NFL before, don't get me wrong, but was able to take that big step forward to the point to where the 49ers moved on from Joe Montana and Steve Young became the franchise quarterback. Like those things happen. I mean, obviously Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady is another shining example of that. That led, directly because of an injury to their starting quarterback with the Patriots. So those things happen a lot. You never want to see those guys go down. So yeah, you cringe, but it does make the game pretty interesting when those sort of things happen, because you always want to see if whoever's the next man up is or swim.
Not in this situation. I don't. I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean, Easton Stick is not going to swim. I think we kind of know that by now.
Yeah, I don't want to see it here. I just want Herbert to be one of these guys because I think he will be. I mean, I think ultimately he will be, unless injuries derail him, of course. But it sucks. The other quarterback that's getting a lot of buzz right now is Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, we didn't get to see it last year. We don't know what Rodgers has left in the tank. People are, of course, going to, and this is self-inflicted. He carries a lightning rod around in his hand and waves it at the sky. So I'm not an apologist for the attention and negativity that follows Aaron Rodgers. It is very, very self-inflicted. But are we really needing to make that much of a big deal out of him and Garrett Wilson getting fired up each other at practice? Like, what are we doing here with the Jets? Like, why does anybody, like, that is so not a big deal and unreal to me that like, could you imagine that be in your life? Like overreacting to everything, how exhausting that must be and feel on a daily basis.
He brings it onto himself.
No, I know it's not him but it's like, it's everyone that gets so, offended. I don't even know what the right word. So affected by the fact that Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson got into an argument on the sideline. It's training camp. Travis Kelce was punching his teammates last year. Like what? Who cares, man? It's football. It's hot as hell. Like they're all mad at each other. I would be too. Everyone's irritable.
It's just noise. It's just noise coming out. I mean, and because of all of the circumstances, and there are dozens and dozens and dozens of circumstances surrounding why Aaron Rodgers is in the position that he's in right now. And so many of those examples are self-inflicted. It doesn't surprise me that
he doesn't care.
He doesn't care, but it doesn't surprise me that he continues to be inside that bubble where it doesn't matter what he does. It's going to be the headline. It's going to be the top story. That's always the way that it will be until Aaron Rodgers steps away from the game. And maybe even then he'll be still in a bubble because of just the celebrity that follows him around. It's annoying. It's obnoxious. I don't care. It's noise. It doesn't matter to me what podcast he goes on and spouts off a ridiculous opinion, or when he goes on the Pat McAfee show. I don't listen to him. I don't care. I've known a lot of people. You and I have talked about this before. I've known a lot of people in my life that think that they are the smartest person in the room, in any room that they walk in. And Aaron Rodgers wholeheartedly believes that he is smarter, more clever, just better at everything than anybody else that he is around at any given time. I don't care. I don't care what he does, what he says, anything outside of the football game. I don't care.
But I care
I want to see what he can do on the field because we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
We haven't seen what he's done outside of 4 snaps in 2 years, and the guy's old. And so can he come back? Can he make that happen? That is intriguing to me. His path back from the injury that he suffered last year. I do care about that. I don't care about anything else.
I care a great deal about that too, by the way, because if he's really good, they're a contender. Now, I've said that I'm out. I said that I'm out, but let's talk about that. Like, are they a threat to the Chiefs if he's good? If Aaron Rodgers plays and he is good, how big of a threat are they? It's probably very big. We'll get into it. 869-1240. That's coming in the second hour. We'll check in on the Heritage Classic Golf Tournament as well. Have some giveaways for you. Lots of good stuff coming. It is Sports Daily. It is Albrecht and Caster. Hour number 2 coming right up.
Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news.
Critically hurt after an apartment.
Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active.
Just search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction. That's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first.
When you need it.
Wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.
The Catchies are back. No matter the sport, no matter the school. Highlighting the best overall high school boys and girls athletes in the state. Now's the time to vote for who takes home a Catchie. Help us recognize the top high school athletes in Kansas by scanning the code on your screen to vote, or go to catchitkansas.com and vote there for the Catchie Awards.
The Catchies, brought to you by Hutchinson Community College and Prairie Land Partners.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrocht and Tommy Kester.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2 here of Sports Daily. We'll have Jay Delling join us a little later in the show, get us updated on the Heritage Classic tournament. We'll have some Mitch Holthus audio from Chiefs camp. He spoke with Brett Veach, I guess had breakfast with him, and Mitch will recap that a little bit for us. He's been chatting with the fellas over at Steve and Ted all week long, so we'll bring you that later in this hour as well. We sort of open the can on some other NFL storylines. We touched on Justin Herbert and started to talk about Aaron Rodgers there, but I do think the Jets become really interesting here. You can chime in, by the way, on the IHOP hotline, brought to you by IHOP. Excited to bring you back the all-you-can-eat pancake deal that runs through September 15th. But Tommy, the Jets, like I set them out because I just don't feel like Aaron Rodgers is motivated. I guess I would ask you this way. Are you in or are you out on the Jets, just in general?
I'm out on the Jets. I don't believe that they are going to be able to do really what they want to do this year. And clearly they want to go all the way because Aaron Rodgers' window is so small. I just don't. I'm out on them. And I think it's mainly because it has nothing to do with the talent around Aaron Rodgers, which is good in a lot of cases with Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, others. It's not about that. It's not even about whether or not Aaron Rodgers is physically able to be effective. It's the fact that there has not been an opportunity for this team really to come together, work together, and give us any kind of indication that they have what it takes culture-wise to be able to get it all the way done. Aaron Rodgers was with the team for 4 snaps last year. He was on the sideline a little bit during the season, but not a lot. And then, yeah, obviously they've got training camp, they've got preseason, they've got all of that. But to me, I don't think that I will be able to see enough coming out of preseason and training camp to believe that the Jets have been able to put together a team culture where they can be a legitimate contender.
Yeah, it's really interesting with them for me. I'm out because I think you have to be fully invested, and I just don't think Aaron Rodgers is. And I could be way wrong about that. That's me guessing, in fairness. It just doesn't, and I don't know how you expect anything else, when you see that he's doing other things that are not. Now that it's football related, maybe that changes. I don't know. It's a team that's won 7 games the last 2 years with, I mean, you might be able to find me a team that was worse at quarterback in those last 2 years, but I'm not sure I would believe you, especially last year. They still won 7 games. Worst quarterback, had to be the worst quarterback play in the league. I mean, it was awful. Has been. That's where I still have to reserve this spot to say, what if he comes back and he's good? I'm not saying MVP good because I think that's pretty much impossible. But what if he's just good, right? Good, like effective, dangerous. How good can they be? And are they a real threat? And I think if he's good, just good, I think they're a very real threat because I do think they're really good just about everywhere else. They got better on the line. Their defense we know is really good. They might have, I mean, are you taking any young running back over Brees Hall right now? I mean, Christian McCaffrey probably. And that might be it. Like that might be the list at this point. They have Garrett Wilson, who's a stud. I think they're a legitimate threat because and again, I'm not betting this, I'm not predicting this. I'm saying like a what if. What if he's good? I'm of the contenders in the AFC. I mean, I'm not taking him over the Chiefs. I don't think I'm taking him over the Ravens. But that might be where they begin to enter the conversation is like right there. After that, I'd take him over the Dolphins for sure. Probably over the Bills, although that's close. I think people are sleeping on the Bills a little bit. The Bengals, I think they're right there with Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Like I think they could slot in high, and I wouldn't put them over the Chiefs or the Ravens. But you can make a case that they could be right there with anybody else, and then it gets into that situation of, okay, well then what if they get to the playoffs? And Aaron Rodgers' record in the postseason is overrated. Like he's won one Super Bowl and he's been to the playoffs almost every year he's played quarterback. So let's not act like he's some playoff killer like Patrick Mahomes, for instance. But I do think that they have a chance to be top 3 in the AFC as a ceiling for them potentially. And I think that's worth paying attention to if you're a Chiefs fan.
I'm in big time prove it mode with the Jets. I'm not
Good
gonna.
question.
I mean, I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it from them.
But if he plays 16 games, I mean, they almost have to be better at quarterback, right?
What 100%. I mean, they were so bad a year ago.
That's what I mean. And they won 7 games. So is Aaron Rodgers versus, whatever else they've had at quarterback worth, let's call it 3 wins, 4 wins? I would say, yeah, probably.
But there's a big time difference between will they be improved? And I think being improved takes you from clearly below 500 and not a playoff team to a wild card team, or maybe even a division winner in that AFC East, because I don't think the AFC East, to your point, is going to be dominant by any means. I mean, I don't think the Dolphins, they've got a lot of talent, obviously.
I
don't
still
think they're
it's
dominant.
A really good division.
I just think the parity might be there a little bit more outside of the Patriots, but I do think the Patriots may take a step up, a step forward this season. But if the question is, will they be improved? Well, that's an easy answer. Yeah, I think that they will be improved, but will they be a contender? But with 9 wins, 10 wins, okay, you end up becoming a playoff team. Great. And that might be the ceiling. And I could probably concede that if Aaron Rodgers is good, they could be a playoff team. Are they a legitimate contender for a championship? I would still say no.
Yeah, I mean, what makes that hard is anybody a legitimate contender for a championship against the Chiefs. And I don't mean that like some Chiefs honk or Chiefs homer. I just mean like how good a chance does anybody have, right? And I think that sometimes we overstate that too. And we got to remember that ball bounces a couple different ways last year. Chiefs don't win a Super Bowl. And really you could say that about all of them. That's how razor thin those margins are. And I think that's what brings me back to it. And I'm like, okay, let's picture the playoffs here. Are the Jaguars beating the Chiefs in a playoff game? Is there any world where that exists? I would say probably no. And you can go up and down the list, right? And as you do, I think, of course, you could see the Bills doing that. Of course, you could see the Bengals doing that. Of course, you could see the Ravens doing that. It really, for me, just becomes the question of, from a Chiefs fan's perspective or Chiefs observer's perspective, if the Chiefs were to play the Jets with a good version of Aaron Rodgers and, neutral field, could the Jets win that game? And I think the answer to that has to be yes. Now, there are varying degrees of that, of course, but I think when the Jets boast the kind of defense that they've been able to throw out there the last few years, knowing that weird things can happen, knowing that Brees Hall is a game wrecker, I do think they become a dangerous team. It is all on Aaron Rodgers. How helpless must that be? How helpless a feeling must that be for Robert Saleh? You know what I mean? Like, Robert Saleh is sitting here. His job's on the line. We know that. Like, he's sitting here and you've got Rodgers taking trips to Israel and the battle of words about playing in the preseason. This is why I'm out on them, by the way, because there just doesn't seem to be any lockstep. Not with Rodgers and
there hasn't,
and I don't mean between Rodgers and Wilson either, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm talking about with the front office and the coaching staff, and it almost feels like this lone wolf, and not in the cool Hollywood way either, like in the annoying way. Like, dude, could you just buy in? Like,
but wasn't that
Robert Saleh? Can't you sit him down and be like, dude, could you just buy in, or at least pretend like you care?
That's what
it
was
here.
That's a big reason why there was that falling out in Green Bay, because that happened with him and Matt LaFleur. Because again, going back to what I said before the break, Aaron Rodgers believes he's the smartest man in any room that he is in.
And he's a
so
Hall
he
of
is
Famer.
going. So and that's great. I'm never going to discount who Aaron Rodgers is as a football player, as a quarterback. He is one of the greats. He is a Hall of Famer. He is a Super Bowl champion. He is an MVP. He is all of those things. That is all true. It doesn't mean that he is smarter than his head coach. It doesn't mean that he is better than his head coach. It doesn't mean he is bigger than his team. I think that's going to be the biggest difference. And we don't need to get into this particular topic today. Maybe it's for another time. But as much as like Tom Brady has annoyed me over the course of his career because the guy always won and he always got the best of people, you never got the indication with Tom Brady when he was with Bill Belichick that he thought he was better or smarter than Bill Belichick. Now, we now know that there was that power struggle, right? And like there were things that were going on behind the scenes, but I don't think that really ever played out in public. You never really felt, I never really
when
felt
it didn't really matter, Brady. Right? Because Belichick didn't coach the offense.
Right.
But
they were usually in lockstep, even though if you kind of knew that maybe they didn't get along or they weren't super close or whatever, publicly, they were always in lockstep. It was the Patriot way. Aaron Rodgers is notorious for going out on his own, second-guessing things, second-guessing teammates, calling teammates out, second-guessing coaches, second-guessing organizations, doing all of these different things. And yeah, he's a great player. He always has been. But I've always had an issue with the way that you mentioned, you call him a lone wolf. I've always had an issue with that because it ends up undermining the direction that whatever team he's on is trying to go and the goals that they have. And what's crazy about it is that Aaron Rodgers has the same goal that Robert Saleh does.
I know.
But Aaron Rodgers thinks that his way is always going to be the better way to get there.
And it's not like this isn't the first time. He ran McCarthy out of Green Bay.
Yep.
He ran himself out of Green Bay where they sort of picked LaFleur.
Yeah.
It took some time, right? It took a few years, and he had a couple MVP seasons on the way to doing that. And so now if you're the Jets, like, and I'm not faulting the Jets for this, by the way. I thought it made sense at the time. I would have done it too if I were them. I just, you got to know and understand what you're in for here. And if you're Saleh, you probably do. Like, your job it's beholden to Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to call it happiness. I don't know what it is. But at some point, you just hope that he comes out there and when push comes to shove, he gets after it. And remember, too, like before the injury, he was being praised for how he was, interacting with young players. And I do think from a football perspective, he still, loves playing football, whether it's his, most important thing in life or not. I still think I don't think you get out there and take that beating if you don't. I think he wants to win, certainly. And I think he probably does have a better relationship with his teammates than people pretend he does. It's the coaches where you wonder about the relationships. And yeah, that
why he has generally a good relationship, I would think, with his teammates.
Because he wins.
I think it's because he's asserted himself as the guy in charge. And I think that he has, and that's usually been the way that it is. He's got that, the mentality, he's got the history, done this a lot, where he has publicly called out his teammates. He did it in Green Bay.
Sure.
And it's worked. So I'm not saying that it's been a bad strategy as far as getting more out of his teammates, but I think that the vast majority of the time, the guys that play with him defer to him. And that's why he ends up having a pretty solid relationship
And
with
they
his
should.
teammates.
Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes would never publicly call out a teammate,
Yeah.
but they call out their teammates all the time.
Absolutely.
Go listen to any of Brady's teammates talk about how scared they were to make a mistake in practice, right? Because they knew that wrath and fury was coming. Mahomes, we started to see some of that last year, didn't we? And it's interesting too, because this is the way it should be, right? If you ever wonder, like in a power struggle between a coach and a quarterback, which way you need that to go, it is a no-brainer, right? It's the quarterback. If there was ever a debate or a question, a real one on Belichick or Brady, of course it's Brady. That's not a knock on Belichick. It's not a knock on Andy Reid that he couldn't get it done before he got Patrick Mahomes. But if you're trying to, I mean, it's just crazy that.
But don't you think that, like, if I'm Robert Saleh, it's got to be annoying to me, and I can imagine that Mike McCarthy and Matt LaFleur felt the same way in Green Bay, that my star quarterback, great talent, all of that, but my star quarterback, to a lot of his teammates, and probably, especially the guys in the wide receiver room, not defer to him, but like he's the guy in charge. Undermines what the head coach is wanting to do. And, whether you can call it a power struggle all that you want, but the head coach is the head coach. The quarterback is the quarterback. And I think that becomes the issue. Because if I'm Robert Saleh, I'm like, look, I'm in charge. Like, I'm the head coach, not Aaron Rodgers. I'm the head coach. And that's where the friction,
tough.
I think, happens.
Great leaders get out of the way, right? We know that. Like, great leaders allow their people to be the greatest versions of themselves. Sometimes that takes a whole lot of humility.
And you want to bring up, and we talked about Tom Brady briefly, but bring up Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a great leader, team leader, all of that, has fantastic relationships with his teammates. And he may be critical of his teammates in private and in practice, but I'll tell you one thing that Patrick Mahomes has never done, will never do, is undermine Andy Reid.
No.
Like that respect is there, and the roles are defined, and Mahomes knows what lane he is in, and he knows that he's the best player clearly on the team, in the league, in the history of the game, whatever, but he knows his role, he knows his lane, and he's okay with that.
But let's not, I mean, publicly, yes. Privately, we've seen him get very aggressive with Eric Bieniemy in a very famous situation. And, bring back to Kelsey bumping Andy Reid on the sideline last year, whatever. It's not that they don't disagree with them. It's just that they'll never publicly give the ammo. Of course they disagree with their coach. Of course, but you have to try to relate it, I think, when we think about this stuff, to like what we all deal with on a regular basis. People that work well together disagree all the time on what needs to be done. But when you're ultimately working to the same goal, eventually you're going to get there. And then it doesn't really matter, right? You move on to the next thing. That's where with like Rodgers and Saleh is what I want. Like, can they ever get there? Right. And at some point, I think if you're Saleh, honestly, you know what this is. You got to make sure you've got that defense rocking and rolling, and he doesn't have a choice. He's got to put his faith in Rodgers, that Rodgers will just do what needs to be done on the offense.
Yeah. And I do think that winning cures all. Or
sure,
100%. Winning, I don't want to say, maybe I went too far.
I don't want to say there.
That may be too much. Winning cures most. Like, I think, and that's going to be, I think, the best that Robert Saleh can hope for.
Absolutely.
If you're going off, one way from point A to point B, and Aaron Rodgers is going off another way from point A to point B, I guess there can be the argument that as long as everybody ends up at point B, it doesn't matter which way it takes to get there.
Yep.
However, there is probably synergy that for sure would make that journey a whole lot simpler and a whole lot more harmonious. That's not Aaron Rodgers. And I think that Robert Saleh is not an idiot. The Jets organization, they're not dumb. They knew that. Like, they knew what they were getting themselves into as far as his personality. Harmony is not at the top of the list for Aaron Rodgers on what he cares about within the organization. So I think a lot of it is kind of, you cover your eyes, you cover your ears, and you just sort of like let him do his thing. And you hope that at the end of the day, your strategy and his strategy at some point meet back together and you end up winning a championship. That's easier said than done, probably unlikely, but I think that's the best that they can hope for.
It can work. It can work in the short term. It can't work in the long term, but there is no long term, right? It just needs to work in the short term. If you're solid, you just need to have it be successful now so that you keep your job and continue the other things that you've done.
There are stories over the years in other sports and probably in the NFL as well of star players and coaches, great coaches that don't get along. They're not on the same page and they still win. Those things have happened a lot over the years. This isn't an example of that, but I mean, I think of like championship teams. We talked last week about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson hated each other. That's not player and coach, but that's coach and owner. They hated each other and they won championships, and then it all fell apart. All of the drama and issues during the last couple of years with Jordan in Chicago, with Phil Jackson and Jerry Krause, and all well documented. Lots of friction there. They were winning championships. Like those things can happen where people's journey to get from point A to point B are not the same, and you all end up at point B and you win. That's not the ideal way. That's going to have to be the way that the Jets get there.
Yeah. I do think their upside is high, very high, like as high an upside as there is probably in football. As far as like the unknown, theirs is probably the highest, right? Of the teams across the league. I can't think of another team that we sit here and wonder about that has a higher ceiling, if that makes any sense. Like we know what teams have a high ceiling already. I don't think there's another team across football that could make the kind of jump they could make. Like let's take the Bears, who I think everybody sees as trending well. Let's say Caleb Williams has a Stroud type rookie year. Does their ceiling get as high as the Jets potentially would be? I don't think so. So as I
actually do. I mean, actually do.
I don't think their defense is going to be that good. I think we forget, because the Jets can't win the games, just how good the Jets defense is and has been with the players that it has. I mean,
I think the Texans defense is going to be pretty good. I mean, it may not be
the Bears.
The Bears. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
No, not the Texans, but we have high expectations already for the Texans. I mean, the Bears. If Williams has a Stroud season, I thought you were talking about like they'll have as high a ceiling. As the Jets would have.
I'd be on board.
I don't think there is another one. The Vikings, perhaps. Like if all of a sudden McCarthy gets in there and if he has a Stroud season, maybe they're a team that can get up that high. Maybe the Falcons, if Kirk Cousins is back to full form, could take that kind of unexpected jump. There are a couple out there, but I don't think any of them are as high as the Jets. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll hit Chiefs camp when we return. We'll get you some Mitch Holthus audio about breakfast with Brett Veach. How about a tease there? I don't know what he said, but we'll find out. Jad's got it for us. That's next on Sports Daily.
Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news.
Critically hurt after an apartment.
Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active.
Just search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction. That's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first.
When you need it.
Wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.
The Catchies are back. No matter the sport, no matter the school, highlighting the best overall high school boys and girls athletes in the state. Now's the time to vote for who takes home a Catchie. Help us recognize the top high school athletes in Kansas by scanning the code on your screen to vote, or go to catchitkansas.com and vote there for the Catchie Awards.
The Catchies, brought to you by Hutchinson Community College and Prairie Land Partners.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Sports Daily here on KFH. Glad to be with you. Talking a little NFL, making our way around training camps, having some fun. This portion of the program brought to you by Crestview Country Club. We are back to better weather. Go out to Crestview, check it out, get a tour, have dinner maybe. Check out the facilities there. 36 holes of golf, great pool, tennis. It's all there for you. Great kids activities, as our family uses it all the time. Tommy and I are both out there. Call them, tell them we sent you. We appreciate Crestview Country Club's support.
You playing golf this weekend? You going to be out there? It's not going to be quite as hot this weekend as
I don't
the last
think
couple of days.
so. I don't have anything on the books right now. I'll say that.
Okay.
We'll be out of town. We'll be back maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday. I'll see if I don't know. It's a good question. Nothing on the books yet. I haven't really thought about it.
Tomorrow may be a good pool day. I think we might be looking at that. And then it's been a while since I've taken my 3-year-old to the course. So I think we may try to do that this weekend. And, I might play a few holes and he might ride along, and he's got his little kitty set of clubs. And we might try. I don't know how long he'll last, 4 or 5 holes maybe, but it'll be fine. We'll have a good time.
My kids love to come, and then they don't. I mean, they hit a couple balls, and they don't really care about that. They just like riding around. It's good stuff. Anyway, tell them we sent you. We love partnership with Crestview. Always enjoying it here with the Albrocht and Castor families. Chiefs camp continues. We're checking in. Everything's good for the most part. A few little nagging injuries to pay attention to. Bolton had an arm injury we're watching, and Kadarius Toney left, which is always concerning because he's always hurt, it seems like. But this morning, Mitch and the fellas over at Steve and Ted had a conversation. Mitch had breakfast with Brett Veach. New players in there now, how they've looked. Everyone's really excited about Worthy, about Hollywood Brown, and this mindset we've been talking about being better in the regular season and this motivating factor. Here's Mitch Holthus on his conversation with Brett Veach this morning.
Yesterday, I had breakfast with Brett Veach, and I cornered him a little bit and just asked him, there's a couple things, because I'm going to get into Hollywood Brown next week and some of the guys that have to step up to make this team even better, but even the mindset of this team. And I love what Brett Veach had to say, because he's doing such a great job as general manager that he's seeing his work manifested.
What do you see from the new vets, the free agent vets, specifically Hollywood, and how he's been able to adjust?
Yeah, nowadays, Pat does such a great job of getting together with the guys. And so it was cool for Pat to get things started on his own down in Dallas and get those guys up and running. So when they come in here, they don't have it all down, but they have at least a general foundation. And I think what you see with Hollywood is it's a guy that's quickly assimilated and taken to the playbook right away, and coaches are already starting to move him around. And I think it's going to be an exciting year for him. I mean, he looks great, and now we just got to get through camp and keep him healthy. But I think he's set and poised to have a big year here, and I think we're all excited.
Brett told me too, he goes, the mindset of these guys is as if they've never won anything. And that's what's refreshing about it, is and why they have a chance to pull this off. No team has ever won 3 in a row. That it's really uncanny. None of these guys feel like they're on top of the earth. They're just trying to get it done and keep grinding.
Yeah. Look, for Hollywood specifically there, Tommy, Hollywood Brown has 2 very clear objectives this year. Resetting his own career and sort of resetting the market for himself, and winning a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. I can't imagine there's anybody that is as ready to get just down to business as Hollywood Brown. This is a big year for him, big opportunity for him, and he can really help this team. So it's not all that surprising. Of all these new players that have come in, I mean, really it's him, and then it's a bunch of rookies, right? That's kind of what we're looking at here as far as the players that are going to help this team succeed at a higher level. And I think we have been on Hollywood Brown for feels like 8 months. As soon as free agent list came out and you saw it and you're like, man, Hollywood Brown, he'd be a perfect fit. Because what did it remind us of? It reminded us of like a contractual situation of Juju Smith-Schuster. Different player. I'm not saying they're anything close to the same player. They're not. But the situation for the player, almost the exact same. Very talented, still young in the career. Come play with Patrick Mahomes, reset the market, go get paid. Worked for Juju. Worked for Hollywood Brown. I mean, it's always been the reason we like it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a prove it deal for a guy like Hollywood Brown. I don't expect or anticipate to see him beyond this season in Kansas City. I think it'll be really similar to what happened with Juju, and that's perfectly fine. That's the way that Kansas City can get a talent like his on their roster for at least one season to help them out. So I'm okay with that. I think we all know what it is and what it's for, and the reasons behind him being on this team. And the thought is, hey, they're trying to win a 3rd straight Super Bowl. So load up on that reinforcement right now, make that room better overall for a year, improve on the bad play from last year. It's a clear, obvious upgrade from some of the other guys that were in that room a year ago. And so it makes a lot of sense to me. It always has since day number 1. I want to see him go off and have a phenomenal year, a bounce back year, get back on the radar. as one of the top receivers in the NFL, because let's face it, I mean, he had the athleticism, he had the speed, he had the high profile, all the flashiness, all of that when he was with the Ravens really early on in his career. That's why his nickname is Hollywood, to be on the radar big time. And then him going to Arizona, he fell off that radar. And so if he can get back to his form and produce at that high level, then I want to see, number one, I want to see him go off and help the Chiefs, but I would love to see him get a big money deal somewhere else after this season.
Well, sure. That means he had a good year, right?
Yeah.
Like that's who, if he gets paid, he had a good year. Go back and look at his career, by the way, and it's not as good as people might think. It's good. He has had one 1,000-yard season his last year in Baltimore, and he really hasn't been close other than that. And he's played games too, right? He's missed some time, but he's not missed an absurd amount of time. It didn't go well in Arizona at all. I think what you remember is 21 in Baltimore. He's only 27 years old, plenty of gas left in the tank. And how much can he elevate his game? Can he get back to 90 catches, 1,000 yards, and 6 or 7 touchdowns? I think absolutely he can. The one interesting thing that will be to see in this particular Chiefs offense is there's also Rashee Rice. There's also Xavier Worthy. There's also Travis Kelce. There's also, a back that will catch Pat. So even if the overall stats aren't there and can he get to 1,000 yards again, I think that's an absolute best case scenario. Basically, his last year in Baltimore, outside of the touchdown number that's pretty unpredictable, 90 catches and 1,000 yards out of Hollywood Brown would, to me, feels about like the ceiling, right? Like that sort of feels like that ceiling number to me, just because there's so many other weapons there. And we know Patrick Mahomes will spread the ball around. And if he's going to target one particular player more than another, it'll be Travis Kelce. So it's like when we look at it from, let's say, when we look at it from fantasy football, who do you even target? If you're targeting Chiefs receivers, and from what I've seen, because I've done some drafts and things already just to kind of get a feel for it, what you have basically is Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy all in like the exact same part going off the board. So of those three guys, like who do you want a piece of if you're drafting it right now? And we bring that back to real football because it's sort of a guess at like which one of those guys leads the way. Do any of them lead the way? Is it, sort of an even spread among all three of them? And then there's Travis Kelce. But of those three, like who is the most likely to take off and be the alpha in the receiver room?
Well, I think it's Rashee Rice, and I think it's just because of the role that he plays on this offense. I think that he's going to have the opportunity to be the biggest beneficiary of what Hollywood Brown brings, what Travis Kelce obviously brings, because, defenses are not going to be able to lock down on everybody. And then, of course, you've got Xavier Worthy out there and everything that he has, the skill set that he has. I think Rashee Rice will be the guy that will, I think, assert himself as that alpha.
Here's what I would ask about Rice, because my gut says that's probably the way to go on that. But wasn't his ultimate role sort of invented out of necessity last year and out of a necessity that doesn't exist this year? So he was thrust into what he took on last year, and he thrived in it. Don't get me wrong, but they don't need him to do that this year, right? They don't need him to be that this year because they have the other weapons. And so that's what I wonder if we have already seen his ceiling, and it was last year. Only
no,
because
I don't think we have. I don't think we've seen the ceiling. I think that we've got him in a place in his career now where, I mean, come on, he was a rookie last year.
That's
he really came on at the end of the season last year.
That's not a negative statement. What I just
it's
said.
Not just a flash in the pan that he's already hit his ceiling and we're not going to see him do.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I don't mean that it's a bad thing that he's hit that ceiling. What I'm saying is the opportunity ever going to be there again for him?
Yeah,
like it was last season.
Because, I mean, keep in mind, like, defenses realized that he was the only legitimate wide receiver threat that they had to account for. Like they didn't have to worry about like, is Marquez Valdez-Scantling going to do anything against us because he's going to drop passes? Will, Sky Moore do what? No. Will Kadarius Toney? No. Like you go down the list and it was Rashee Rice or bust. Outside of Travis Kelce, there are so many more talented players now surrounding him in that wide receiver room that I think that the opportunities will be bigger than what they were last year for a player the caliber of Rashee Rice.
Yeah. Look, I again, not negative. I'm not saying that as a negative when I'm talking about that. What I mean is there a necessity to target him 102 times this year? Will he have 80 catches when now there's 4 other better options than they had a year ago? I don't mean did we see the ceiling as like he takes a step back. I just mean it as with all of these other guys there, does it even need to be replicated? I don't know. I mean, maybe some, and there's also, of course, the possibility that he just continues to excel. And I mean, Tyreek Hill was an alpha in this offense alongside Travis Kelce with other talented players on the offense. It's certainly possible, but it will be fun to watch. I don't know which one of those I'd pick. Like if it's fantasy football right now and I've got to take one of them all in that same place on the draft board, like who am I taking? I think it's Rice, but it might be Worthy. It might be Worthy just because of that upside on the big play potential. It's interesting. And I think I like Hollywood Brown the best out of the group, but I don't know what his role is going to be. Patrick Mahomes is loaded, folks. I'm telling you, loaded more than he has been since when? 2019, 2020? The amount of talent there at the pass catching group. Goodness gracious. 869-1240. We're going to check in on the Heritage Classic Golf Tournament with Jay Delling. That's next on Sports Daily.
Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into the Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news.
Critically hurt after an apartment.
Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active
Just
right
search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction. That's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first.
When you need it.
Wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.
The Catchies are back. No matter the sport, no matter the school. Highlighting the best overall high school boys and girls athletes in the state. Now's the time to vote for who takes home a Catchie. Help us recognize the top high school athletes in Kansas by scanning the code on your screen to vote or go to catchitkansas.com and vote there for the Catchie Awards.
The Catchies, brought to you by Hutchinson Community College and Prairie Land Partners.
The Classic Tournament at Rolling Hills Country Club is the tour championship for the Annika Women's All-Pro Tour. The tournament will be at Rolling Hills. It is at Rolling Hills. Continues through the weekend. If you want to check it out from the party patio, all you have to do right now is text the keyword golf to the short code 20357. That's golf to 20357. Today is the last day to enter that contest. Good luck, everybody. Message and data rates apply. We are joined right now by Jay Delling out there at the Heritage Classic, helping them out as he does, as you've heard here forever, about the Wichita Open. Jay, how are you this morning?
Hey, the weather's great in the media center. That's all I can tell you.
That's right. That's right. Got that AC blasting. How's the golf been out there so far yesterday with round one in the books?
Well, yesterday we had four atop the leaderboard at 5 under, but there's been some activity today. Yesterday, we saw a lot of the veterans on the Annika WAPT Tour kind of dominate the top of the leaderboard, but we've seen a total switch in that today. The top 5 players right now are all under the age of 25. Lauren Lee leads the way. She's 2 under for the day, 7 under for the tournament, so she leads it by 1 over Sarah Erickson, who's 2 under for the day. Both those players are 23 years old, just fresh out of college. And we're seeing that in golf in general. We've seen it really with the Korn Ferry Tour. We've seen it with the PGA Tour. Golf is just getting younger and younger. These ladies and on the men's side, they're just so good. The college programs are just so good. The junior programs are excellent. And they're really doing a great job of developing these players. And one of them in the field this week is Kinsley Jones from Mays High School. She's 17 years old, heading into her senior year. She's a sponsor exemption into this tournament. She shot 4 under or 4 over 76 yesterday. She's 1 under on her day today to put her at +3. She's only 1 away from the cut line, which this year is the top 50 in ties. And so we're all rooting for Kinsley Jones. She's got about 6 or 7 holes to play. So there's a lot of great things going on out here. Free admission. You can park at Bishop Carroll. We'll shuttle you over here to watch these amazing golfers.
Jay, anybody that plays golf in the Wichita area knows a lot about the courses around here, I'm sure. And not only that, but the time of year that we're in right now, just getting into the month of August, the dog days of summer. It's hot out there. We know how hot it was yesterday. It's going to be hot throughout the course of the weekend. Not quite as brutally hot as what we saw yesterday, but overall conditions and just the way that the course is playing, knowing the time of year that we're in, what are golfers in for today and through the weekend out at Rolling Hills?
Tommy, great question, because we heard a lot of the players yesterday who played yesterday afternoon say, wow, those greens got pretty crusty pretty quick. I mean, they're in great shape, but they just dried out, which makes them faster. A lot of the talk yesterday afternoon was hydration. You saw tons of umbrellas out. Wasn't raining, but they're just trying to shield themselves from the sun. It'll be the same today. I looked outside just a few minutes ago. We're void of the wind today that we had yesterday. Now, it's Kansas, right? It could, as we're talking in the next couple of minutes, the wind can come up quite a bit. But right now, there's not much wind. And if it stays that way, guys, I worry about these ladies this afternoon, but they prepare for this. I don't think it's anything new to them, but the human body can only take so much. So hydration is really important. I would encourage fans when they come out, bring your waters. There's some concessions out here, but bring your waters and come out and have some fun.
What can people expect? We're giving away tickets to the party patio there, Jay. What's on the party patio?
Me as much as possible, for one.
Yes.
Because that's the place to be. It's literally 25 feet from the 18th green. I mean, you're right on top of the action. There's a lot of great buzz going around, food, drink. A lot of just fun people. And the 18th here at Rolling Hills is about 384-yard straightaway par 4, great finishing hole, interesting green complex. We're seeing some birdies, but we're also seeing some players, spin it off the green and have to scramble for pars. So it's really a fun hole, and it's just a great place on the golf course to be. I would encourage anybody that just wants to come out, have a good time, and be in one place. That party patio is the place to be.
All right, Jay Delling, Heritage Classic. You can win one more chance to get out there on the party patio. All you got to do is text the keyword golf to the short code 20357. It's the Heritage Classic tournament. It is the Tour Championship on that Annika Women's All-Pro Tour. Get out there, check out the golf this weekend, enjoy it. Jay, we know you will. Thanks for hopping on.
You got it, guys. Good to be on. Good to see you.
There goes Jay Delling. A couple minutes here before we take our final break. Check that out. Tommy, I wanted to spend just a second as we get ready for Royals tonight. And you mentioned it. It's the big, opportunity against a guy who many feel is the Cy Young, leader right now. The Royals are still slight favorites in the game with Cole Reagans on the mound. If you want to attack it that way, the over/under's only at 6.5. I'd actually lean into the over on that. But if I'm betting it, and we just keep going back to the well, with Bobby Witt Jr., and you want to go into I wouldn't bet his home run. But man, the total bases, not the total hits. Be careful there. Not the total hits, but the total bases. Again, you can go over 2.5. You can get it at plus 160. It's been paying. He's been total bases means here's what total bases are. If you get a walk, it's a base. A single's a base. A double's 2 bases. So a double and a single, a double and a walk, you're over. The way he's going right now, and I know it's against Skubal. I know it is, but that's why you're getting plus 160 on it today. I just got to keep going to it.
It's a matchup between two pitchers that if you just looked at their win-loss record and you didn't really know the details behind it, you would think, well, Skubal absolutely is a better pitcher than Reagans is. As we know for sure, it's been well documented, the Royals have not always given Cole Reagans run support in his starts. It's surprising to me with Skubal, the Tigers traded away a handful of players at the deadline. They did not trade away Tarik Skubal, which I think there was quite a bit of thought that he maybe would be somebody moved at the trade deadline. He wasn't. He will be pitching tonight. I love this matchup. I love this opportunity for Cole Reagans. And, they're both all-stars, but I love this opportunity for Reagans to be able to kind of cement his place as, look, it doesn't matter really what the win-loss record is. I've got the stuff to be able to go in and win a game like this against the Tigers. Skubal's a great pitcher. He's had a great season. Don't get me wrong. I love Reagans in this spot tonight.
So it also feels like when we said we wanted to see how the back end of the bullpen shakes out in one of those kind of the games, this feels like it could be one of those kind of games, right?
And they're fresh. They're a fresh bullpen.
And I want to see how Quatraro stacks it up. I think it's very interesting. All right, we'll come back. We'll tell you what's on the network. We'll give you the listening details of that and the rest of the games this weekend for the Royals. We'll wrap up Sports Daily right after this.
Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News This Morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news.
Critically hurt after an apartment.
Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active.
Just search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction, that's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first.
When you need it.
Wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.
The Catchies are back. No matter the sport, no matter the school. Highlighting the best overall high school boys and girls athletes in the state. Now's the time to vote for who takes home a Catchie. Help us recognize the top high school athletes in Kansas by scanning the code on your screen to vote, or go to catchitkansas.com and vote there for the Catchie Awards.
The Catchies, brought to you by Hutchinson Community College and Prairie Land Partners.
All right, everybody, that does it for this week of Sports Daily. We've got a good week coming up next week. More details on that as we get to it. But as far as this weekend, Royals tonight, 5:30 pregame coverage. Saturday, 5 o'clock, and Sunday, 12:30. Looking forward to that series. We'll be back Monday to recap it all. You've got Jim Rome following us. You've got Bob and Jeff locally here 2 to 4 as well today. Thanks to Jad for getting us through the week. Tommy, have a good weekend.
Sounds good. We'll see you back Monday.
And everyone out there, have a good weekend too. For Tommy and Jad, I'm Jacob. We'll see you Monday.